I hope you guys are ready for a story time. So today we're gonna be having lunch together. We got some In-N-Out, and if you're watching this and you're like, Shannon, I thought you were a vegan, I am no longer vegan. I was vegan for 10 years and I'm not anymore. I did a whole video on why like a long time ago, but I know not everybody sees every single video I post. Why you should follow me on Instagram, because I usually will post every time I have a new video up. But today we're gonna be eating a really yummy lunch together while I tell you one of the most disgusting story times that has happened recently. Well, here we go. Also, really quickly, I'm no longer vegan because of health reasons. I have multiple different autoimmune diseases that I've developed over time, and my doctors said, Shannon, you can't be vegan any longer, you're not getting the right whatever. So that is mainly why, and I do feel a lot better now that I'm no longer vegan. That is not the case for everybody. Obviously some people feel way better when they're vegan. You do you. No judgment here. Okay, so let me tell you what's going on. This is seriously so disgusting. So by the way, if you get grossed out, just click off this video now, because I can promise you you're gonna be disgusted. So freaking disgusting. I can't even believe I'm like eating while I talk about this. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know, I recently opened up a new business of running an Airbnb. It's a cabin, it's gorgeous, it's on 18 acres.
Suddenly, the world I used to know, I see it differently. You woke me from a dream, now here's reality. Baby, baby, you are really hurting me. 'Cause every time you tell me I look good in bed, I'm doing fine, but nothing ever changes. And now I see, baby, you are hurting me. Stuck in repeat. Stop lying. I know you're playing your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know? If you don't need me, just let me know when I go. Truthfully, the game that you've been playing felt so real to me. I once believed that you could be my destiny. Baby, baby, you are really hurting me. Who is she? How can you reject me so damn easily? Who are you and what are we? Baby, baby, you are really hurting me. I know you're playing your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know? If you don't need me, just let me know when I go. I know you're playing your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know? If you don't need me, just let me know. You're leaving your car, got lost in your heart. I'm falling apart, stop lying. Don't know who you are, baby, anymore. I'm dying. I know you're playing your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart.
It's like 2 hours outside of LA in a city called Tehachapi. And we worked really hard. We bought it. We worked really hard to renovate it and make it really nice for people to go vacation there with like their families or their friends, or have family reunions. It sleeps like 12 people. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. It's all like themed really cool. And yeah, we worked really hard on it. We're very proud of it. It's like our own, it's like our new little business that we have. And there have been so many things that have gone wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. More has gone right. It's very successful. We're very proud of it. Like, it's doing way better than I ever thought it would do. I was so scared no one was gonna book it when I first did it. Like, even though it was amazing, I was like, I don't know, because of the location, like what if no one books it? And we spent all this time and all this money, like literally all of our money, to like start this new business, you know, because I'm like, I can't rely on YouTube forever, so I need to start doing other things. And we've been, you know, putting our money in like real estate investing and stuff. And so I really wanted to try Airbnb because I thought it'd be really fun, and it's something I'm like really passionate about. And I actually really love it. Like, it's super fun for me. And again, I'm just like very proud of what we've accomplished. But man, when things go wrong, they go very wrong. And we have had, so we also opened a glamping camp. I should add this part in, which is now shutting down because we've had some issues with that. And we're just gonna do it somewhere else. It was an issue between like a stalker constantly calling the county, and the county just probably getting so fed up, and also like, it's a whole thing. I don't want to get into that in this video, but we had a glamping camp. We no longer are having that anymore, but it's on 18 acres. It's just gorgeous, and it's really fun and cool. So we've had some things happen with guests, but today, by far, hands down, has been the most freaking disgusting thing that a guest has said about our Airbnb that has happened there while they were there. So first the guest checks in and she's like, I just want to let you know that the sheets were not washed in the master or the downstairs bedroom in the queen bed, and that there's crumbs underneath the dining room table, and there's crumbs on the couch. And she's like, just basic, oh, and the dining room table is disgusting. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, that is like the worst thing you could possibly hear from a guest, is that like the house is not clean. And I know that the house was clean because we have cameras on the outside of the house, and I always make sure that the cleaners are there when they're supposed to, because we had a same day turnover, which means we had guests checking out, and then the same day we had new guests checking in. So I always want to make sure the cleaners are there on time and out before the next guests arrive. So I'm very like particular about this because I treat every guest like a celebrity. Like, they are the top priority of everything going on, you know, and I just want to make sure they have an amazing experience. Again, we worked really hard on this place, and I really wanted it to be just like a magical place people can go with their friends and their family and make really amazing memories and want to go back. And I want them just to have the best time ever, and I want everything to be as perfect can be. So I take a lot of like energy and time to make sure that that happens. And the second that a guest messaged me, like, I personally right now am responding to them and making sure like everything is taken care of. So when I got this message from the guest, my heart like sunk into my chest, and I was like, oh my God. So I was worried because I'm like, oh my God, did the cleaners not come? Like, what happened? But then I remember, I'm like, no, the cleaners came. And this is the thing, like, we use a software called Turno, and it's basically like where the cleaners will automatically get alerted. Like, everything's automated. So like the cleaners know like when we have a new guest that booked, and like when they're checking in, when they're checking out. So, you know, they see our whole schedule. And through this app, they take photos of right when they get there of everything. They make sure like they check inventory, they see if anything's been damaged, you know, they just take pictures of how it was left. And then when they're done cleaning, they take pictures of what it looks like when they leave, so that, God forbid, you know, someone comes in and they're like, you know, this was broken, or that was never there when we got there. You know, it kind of covers our ass to make sure that the place, you know, like people aren't screwing us over or stealing things and saying that like they weren't there. So we have like proof and evidence of everything. So I'm like, I know that the cleaners went there today. So, and there was 3 of them working on the house like all together. And I'm like, and I've never had any complaints about this happening before. So I'm like, maybe the guests are just like saying this stuff because like, I don't know, they want to get like a refund, or they want me to discount them. And I know that there's been like issues with Airbnb guests in the past, like with other people that I'm like follow or I'm friends with, that like, you know, people will go and try to get like free Airbnb stays by complaining about a bunch of things that like aren't true. So I'm like, oh God, please don't let this guest be one of those people. So the first thing I do is I message my cleaner and I'm like, hey, I just got this message from the guest and they're saying that like the place is filthy, and you know, I just want to double check that like you guys actually changed the linens and the sheets. And I felt bad like sending that to my cleaner because I'm like, she does a really good job, and like, you know, but I had to just double check, right? I have to just make sure. I don't know, maybe something happened, they forgot. She's like, no, I personally did it myself. The photos are all on Turno. You know, we work really hard to make sure we do a good job for you. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna double check the photos. I'm sure everything looks fine. So this is the thing. It's like, what do I say, right, to this lady? So what I say is, I am so sorry. I'll put it up on the screen, the message I sent, that she sent to me, and then I'll put the message that I sent back. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. We've never had this problem before. If there's anything I can do to make this better, like, let me know. Again, I'm so sorry. She was actually really nice and like super cool. She's like, no, it's totally fine. I Cloroxed and cleaned everything myself. I just want to let you know, what we walked into. And so I'm like, oh man, like, do I trust her or my cleaners now? You know, I'm like kind of confused. And then it was just like one thing after another with this guest. The thing is I don't think she was like really a pain in the ass guest. I think she just like genuinely was like, you know, having problems, and I felt horrible. So the next morning, I get a message from her and she's like, hey, there's some loud beeping going off in the house. It's driving us crazy. We don't know how to turn it off. Can you please call us? Also, the power is out. And I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Like, literally everything that could go wrong for this lady has gone wrong. The power is out now, and we're on a well out there, by the way. So that means that when the power goes out, the water like stops. So like, because there's nothing to pump the water, like the electricity pumps the well, so then you're gonna run out of water eventually. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like please, like already they had a bad experience like when they first got there, and now the very next morning there's like beeping going off, they have no power. I'm like, oh my god, what a shit show. But you guys, this isn't even the worst part, because it gets worse. And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like, Trav, and I had to work this morning. I was like on calls and doing all kinds of like coaching calls and all kinds of stuff. So I was super busy, and I'm getting this message and I'm like, oh my god, gotta be freaking kidding me. So I'm like, Travis, I really need you to call this poor woman, first of all, because he knows how to fix the beeping. I'm pretty sure because the power went out, the carbon monoxide detector starts beeping and going off to let you know like, hey, we're not working anymore, and it's a safety issue, right? So like, I'm like, you gotta call them, it's a safety issue, the carbon monoxide thing is going off. And she's like, my husband has a job interview, so like we need the beeping to go off. And I'm like, ah. So he had a job interview, I guess, like on the phone that he was taking while he was there. So I'm like, Travis, please call this poor lady and fix this issue for me and tell her we are so sorry, and like find out like, you know, what she wants us to do to like fix this, because I feel so bad. I'm like, nothing can go worse. Like, this is as bad as it gets. There's nothing that could go worse. Well, I wish that was the case, but it wasn't, because what I'm about to tell you, make sure you're not eating. That's all I have to say. So all of a sudden, Trav is like, don't worry, I handled it, everything's good. I got her to fix it, turn off the beeping. I explained to her, like, with the electricity going out, by the way, the electricity went out, or the power went out because there was high winds. Like right now, all in California, or at least like where we're at, the winds are like out of control out here. They're like really bad. And so when that happens, the power place, or the electricity, the power department, whatever the heck it's called, shuts the power off, like as a safety precaution. So he explained that to her. She understood, told her about the water situation, like be careful with the water, you know, don't use too much of it if you don't need it, because eventually, you know, it's gonna stop working. So I'm like, oh my god. Okay, so this is where it gets bad. Brace yourself. Out on this property, we have chickens, and we've got a chicken coop because I thought, what a cool idea to be able to have farm fresh eggs for our guests. They can literally go out. What is that? I think, okay, sorry. I think that is something going on with the dishwasher. It's making, I'm at my mom's house right now, so I'm like, what is that noise? I'm not used to it. So we have chickens out there, and we tell our guests, like, you're welcome to go get farm fresh eggs and, you know, go look at the chickens, because I thought that was like a nice little touch and something extra for our guests that we can add as like one of the amenities that's maybe different from some of the other Airbnbs that you stay at. This Airbnb, by the way, has like the coolest amenities. We have like a ninja warrior obstacle course outside, like between the trees. We have axe throwing, we have a fire pit, we have barbecue, we have, I'm sure I'm missing things. We have a ton of like really cool amenities out there. Oh yeah, big trampoline for the kids. And it's on 18 acres, so it's gorgeous. There's like wildlife everywhere. There's like deer outside the window a lot of the times. And it's just like a really cool spot. So I thought chickens are perfect for this, because if someone's coming from like LA and they want to escape the city and go be out in nature and just like have quiet time and like, you know, it feels like a magical fairy tale out at this property, because you don't see any neighbors and you're just like surrounded by trees and you hear the birds chirping. It's really magical out there, right? So I'm like, oh, the chicken thing would be so awesome. And our cleaners take care and tend to the chickens, give them food and water, make sure that they're okay. You know, if for some reason guests aren't there during that time, they just take the eggs and keep them for their own family. So I thought the chicken thing was like so cool. Well, this guest goes out to the chicken coop and this is probably my worst nightmare come true with owning chickens. Travis is like, all right, you're up on this one. The guest just went to the chicken coop, says that there's a dead chicken in the chicken coop and that the other chickens are eating it. I can't even tell you how traumatized I am just even repeating that. Literally like my worst nightmare come true. I don't know about you, but like maybe it's because I'm like a city girl that like really grosses me out and like makes me so disgusted. I can't get the picture like out of my head. I haven't seen it. I didn't, thank God she didn't send a photo and Travis didn't show me, because it's like that, just imagining it in my head like literally really fucking grosses me out and like makes me never ever 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 want to own chickens ever again, even though I'm not even out there, wasn't the one taking care of them, like now that I'm not there anymore. But that is so fucking disgusting and traumatizing. Not only do I feel horrible for like the poor chicken, but I feel even worse for my guest that had to see that. And thank God she doesn't have any kids there who had to witness that, because I would feel horrible for anybody to see that, because it's so sad. And I literally in that split second made a decision that I am going to rehome all of those chickens to a better home, because that is not okay. And I'm sorry, but that's just the most disgusting fucking thing ever. And I just can't. I can't handle. I am like, seriously, I don't even know how to say it. Like, am I just weird? Like, because I feel like anybody else that owns chickens is like, yeah, that happens. Or like predators will come and kill the chickens, and like you just are sad about it, obviously, because they're like your animals. But then you are just like, okay, yeah, like that sucks, we'll go bury them and then, you know, get on with our lives and still be able to like have chickens. But like for me, I just think that like it would be extremely difficult for me to ever have chickens after this now, because I would just be so scared to go check on them each day to like see a dead chicken, and then even worse, the other chickens eating it. So this poor guest not only has just had one thing after another thing bad happen to her, that like I literally want to refund her whole stay now, because I feel so terrible. But now she's had to see that, and and the worst part is that I had to call my cleaner and tell my cleaner, I'm so sorry, but you have to go. Well, I wasn't able to do it. Travis did, because again, I was working during this time, but I told Travis, like, we need to get somebody out there right away to go handle that situation, because that is not okay. I'm curious, and I want you guys to let me know if this is like something that would also make you never want to have chickens again, or if you're like, yeah, it sucks, but like, it's fine, I'd still have chickens. Like, I told Travis, after this experience, I'm selling the coops and I'm going to rehome all these chickens, because I just can't. That's, to me, I can't handle that. I don't want to traumatize any kids or guests that would have to run into that and see that again. And also, I just feel bad for the animals. Like, I just don't think it's fair. It'd be one thing if, like, the people that were caring, and again, I don't know how this happened. Obviously, it could have just been like a fluke thing that happens, but I'm not there. And the people that are supposed to be taking care of the chickens, like, do you know what I mean? I was like, did they not have food or water? Like, how did this happen? Did one of them get injured? And then, you know, like, sometimes with chickens, like, if one of them gets injured or one of them, like, is bleeding a little bit, the other chickens will literally eat it to death. It's really gross, but that's just like chicken life. And so for me, that's something that I just cannot, I don't want to have to deal with that. And I don't feel like the chickens, I feel like in this situation, like, someone needs to be there all the time to be checking on them. And I think in my mind of what I had envisioned for this property and having chickens and farm fresh eggs for our guests, this was not the vision. Having our guests be like, yeah, there's a dead chicken and the other chickens are eating it, like when they went out to go get their eggs for the day. You know what I mean? Like, it was not supposed to look like this. And so I know that things happen and things go wrong, but because I'm not there and I'm not able to oversee the other people that are supposed to be caring for these chickens, I know when we were there, like, those chickens were very spoiled. They had a very good life. I want to make sure that that was happening. And I'm not there. And then when I hear that there's a dead chicken, it just makes me really sad and feel really bad. And I also think it's just fucking disgusting that the other ones were eating it. So that is the very disgusting and disturbing story of what happened at my Airbnb cabin today. I'm sure there will be a lot more stories of gross shit that happens there. And don't worry, I will be sure to share them with you. But yeah, rest in peace, poor little chickie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that your brothers and sisters were eating you after you died. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I am sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I will see you in my next video. In and out. So fucking good.